everybody, this is Pasta Gains. We're in my garage where I'm going to do a review. This is my first review, where it's going to be a 2-year review of this wall-mounted Titan pulley system. I have the version 1, and as recording this, there's a V3. The V3 has a lot of corrections to the mistakes I'm about to point out, starting with, you'll see the mounting hardware. Currently, there's only one at the top. The V3 added some at the bottom. This fixes the issue of if you're working in this range of motion, it would kick out and pull away from the rack. Also, they switched from a dual to a single pole. As this stands now, it's a very smooth experience. Later on, I'll go over maintenance to allow you to keep it running smoothly, especially if you're in an environment like this you can't really control. And also in this video I'm going to go over how I would do certain equipment or certain movements, whether this is the only piece of equipment you have, or as you can see, an extension of your home gym. I think this is a very good piece of equipment, especially the V3, which allows you to mount it so you can have it like I have it now or against the wall. I would actually prefer it against the wall, and I might actually change it in the future. So now I'm going to go over maintenance. All you really need to do is make sure it's lubricated. It comes unlubricated, and like I said, if you're in an environment you can't control, you're going to want to do this often. It's been cold and hot a lot, so it's very sporadic. So I don't use this often. I don't use this as often, so I'll notice that it's not moving as well. So all you need to do is squirt your lubricant on a rag and go up each pole. You don't have to do it that much. It'll move a lot quicker. I use a 3-in-1 silicone all temp. I don't think the temp really matters. It doesn't get freezing, but if it does, I would probably get the all temp. This is, like I said, 3-in-1 brand. You could probably go to a hardware store and find any liquid lubricant that you have. Now I'm going to go over the attachments that I have, starting with what came with. This is a cheap fabric. It came with 2, so you can see that there's 2 I have attached here. So you put it here, and it will allow you to do many movements, like curls, push downs, flies, stealth flies. This has started to rip. Actually, nope, sorry. This one just started to rip. I'm assuming both would. And I also found the hard way that the weight limit on the chains is about 180 pounds. You'll see that there's 5 chains or links, but I don't think this is made very well because all the weight will rest on 1 or all 5. It's not evenly distributed. So what I have done, Titan also sells other attachments. So I got the close grip. This one's actually very rust resistant. Some of these have rust on it. This one has held up the most. I actually use this one the most. Later I'm going to go into like how I would set up using this in a home gym environment where you can't, there's not a lot of freedom to do what you want. You'll find you actually can do a lot if you, just build some simple things. I made these blocks, and it allows me to do a lot, like I'll show you. So I have this. This is from Amazon. Or not Amazon, this is from Titan. This one was also from Titan. This has held up very well. At the gym, you'll see some will get flayed. This is from Light Use. Like I said, I only use the cable one, or the close grip one. I also purchased a push down. Now I use this one the least, and as you can see, it's pretty rusted. I can make a future video on how to try and remove rust. I have a few pieces of equipment, some cheap and some actually expensive, that I've noticed have gotten rusty over time. I can do that. Now, at the time of purchasing the V1, which is 2 years ago, they didn't have something that I would have liked So off of Amazon, I got cap barbell, row and push down attachment. If I was going to use this equipment more, I would have probably spent more money on the nicer ones. There's ones that fit your grip better, and there's ones that will probably hold up better. I want to go over how I would use this equipment now. You can see here, this is the pole where you would put the weights. This is a 1-inch diameter, but as you'll know, Olympic standard is 2 inches. They make an attachment. I did not bother buying it. I don't even bother putting on the clips because, to be honest, there's not a lot of movement side to side. So, some exercises you could do. I'm going to start with one that's maybe a little bit less known, but if this is the only thing you have, you're going to want to try and work as many muscle groups as you can. So you would have to set it around chest level for this exercise. We're going to do overhead press. So as you can see, I still have 35 pounds on. Kind of struggling with that. To be honest, I don't really do this that much, but you can if you have to. I also have made these boards, which I'll show you how to set up. If you have something similar, like if you have any other piece of wood in your place, you can set a cross. And I'll show you how to do some of the more classic standard exercises. Starting with cable row. I have a pad to sit on. You don't need one, obviously, but I have one, so I'm using it. Now that's very easy. I've done about 180 before for sets of 10. I would say this feels heavier than at the gym. At the gym, I'd be able to do my body weight, which is about 200 to 220, and I'd be able to do more than 10 reps. You can also obviously do pull downs. Now I don't know how V3 would behave, but like I said, this one it feels heavier, so you can get away with a lot less weight. Your experience may differ with the V3, which like I said has 1 pole instead of 2. If that ever gets too hard, you could probably obviously do more reps. Find a way to anchor yourself down, because once you start to get near your body weight, it's going to become a lot harder to stay down on the floor. I already kind of come up if I don't try hard enough at over 100 pounds. So to wrap this all up, I think this is a very good piece of equipment, especially at the V3. I would get annoyed with the V1. I didn't go over this, but as you can see, it's kind of shifted over. This is not set up properly on my rack. It conflicted at the top and I wasn't able to fit it in. I have the Titan short rack with the Titan short wall mounted pulley, and for whatever reason it just doesn't line up here at the top. That all being said, the V3 has a top and a bottom now, and I would just much prefer it mounted to the wall. You can do much more things around your rack, and I would prefer that option instead of having this such tight here, because when I'm in the rack, I'm already limited. I can't use this whole back half. If this is the only thing you have, you can do a lot of different movements, like I went over. Obviously, you can do triceps. You can try and squat with it. They make leg attachments so that you can attach it to your leg and do adductor, and glute, any type of exercise. I've also been able to do crunches, taking the rope and you just crunch down. You can push into here, it's not going to go anywhere, and you can get a really good ab workout in that way. So I would rate the version one about a 2.5 to 3 out of 5. And based on how they corrected it for the version 3, I would say it's much closer to a 4 out of 5. It's cheap, and it's efficient, but at the same time, because it's cheap, it's already rusting, and sometimes it doesn't make sense when you're trying to mount it. So the pasta gains, I'm going to do much more reviews over this time. I'll also go over how to make some pieces of equipment, such as my blocks. I can go over how you can have some common household items, like a cushion, and extend the usage of your home gym. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.